Now, Tory Lanez just got stabbed up 14 times.
That's my brother.
Tory Lanez is another one of them people when I was coming up. Like, that was one of them.
No, that's
the
my
music
brother, man. I talk to Tory every week.
We had the only interview with Kelsey. We sat down with her. We spoke to her. She asked me a question in that interview. She said, let me ask y'all a question and flip it on y'all real quick.
It's like 45
Who do you think
minutes
shot her?
And what did you say?
I was like, damn, like, I was like, don't ask me because I'm the honest one. Like, I don't know.
Who did you think shot her?
I said, you.
And where she's at?
Because she was like, you're entitled to your opinion. Okay. I was like, but like, based off this conversation, maybe I'm wrong, but.
See, what Tory went wrong, where he didn't go wrong, is when he made that jail call and he told Kelsey that I'm sorry for everything that happened. He wasn't talking about the shooting. He talking about, I've been sexing all y'all. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't talking about the shooting. If you paid attention, the stylist said, I packed that gun in their bag several times, right? You know, I've been telling y'all for like 6 months to a year, Tory coming back, DNA ain't his. I've been telling y'all that. People think I'm capping. You know, it's a tape out there too, but you know, the parents of the child didn't clear. But now you got the driver, security guard coming to the table saying, I witnessed her fire 3 shots. Tory jumped out, knocked the gun out of her hand. The gun went off again. But it's 2 DNA tests that says 100% not Tory Lanez, that they never submitted to the defense attorney during the trial.
And his confidence through it said a lot to me. Like, he wasn't just regular confident. He's like, I think I could share my opinion, right? I'm an outsider. I always thought that Tory didn't want the label snitch. And he also knew that he did wrong in the fact of I fucked her and I fucked her too. So I ain't trying to do it. I'll be cleared because my shit ain't on that gun. And he was like, let's see what happens.
That's it.
And he got caught.
Yeah, he was like, when the law does its thing, they going to see it wasn't me. But they railroaded him. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they tell Tory that he don't like
your citizenship
women.
And all that.
Yeah, he saved a woman's life, Megan, from being killed. And then he stopped a mother from going to jail, Kelsey, right? But talking to Tory when he was in there, he said, Wack, everything happened for a reason. I'm a Canadian dude in a penitentiary in California, but yet I've been able to help dozens of men get back to court on appeals on cases they've been railroading. He said, I think I'm the sacrificial lamb. I was the one needed to come back to this place to help these people who probably need to be free more than me. He said, although I'm locked up, I still make millions of dollars. I'm still cool. My kids are still taken care of, but some of these men in their family won't be good unless they're there. So he figured like maybe I was placed here. I know I'm gonna get out before the 10, but maybe I was placed here to help some people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I got some friends that know I'm a huge Tory Lanez fan and they're not Tory Lanez fans. And they hit me with the, you know, if people really with Tory in there, he got stabbed up 14 times. His people would have looked out for him. They don't care about him. If it was some beef, they got it cleared and his people set him up.
No. That shit came from up higher up. That wasn't no prison shit. That wasn't no yard shit. That wasn't none of that. His appeal was already in. Friday, the defense attorney turns in the statement of the dude identifying Kelsey as a shooter. And Monday, he get hit by a dropout. Let me tell you something. That's a level 3 penitentiary. You have a gun tower. You got 2 correctional officers on the floor. When each wing is unlocked, in order to hit that dude 14 times, it should have been 2 or 3 people on him. It was 1 person on him. The gun tower never shot. It was no correctional officers on the floor. Nobody was there all of a sudden. You right? So I'm listening to Tory dad talking. I believe Tory's covered because most people, he got his lungs punctured.
Yeah.
There's a tape that will be coming out. I had somebody watch the tape that's in there that gave me a description of what they was watching. Another correctional officer, I got a homeboy that worked in one institution, called one of his partners that watched the tape. Dude grabbed Tory's hoodie and started hitting him. Only thing saved Tory's life is he slid out the hoodie. Grab your hoodie, he slid out of it, and when he slid out of it, he started running, and dude was chasing, hitting him, and by that time, correctional officers showed up. Think about it. So where was they all? Where was the COs at when it kicked off? Where was everybody at? You know what I mean? So You know, he survived it. I don't believe they'll send him back to the penitentiary. I believe if done right, they'll release him probably with an ankle monitor to fight his appeal. Going back to LA County is a threat. You know what I mean? Because if that DA, that case is overturned, Tory's case then becomes case law, case study. Right. And everybody that DA's convicted could come down on appeal. Now we talking about $1 billion lawsuit. Yeah, that's worth getting rid of somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
We are in America. Underestimate nothing.
Do you think that there's going to be some retaliation inside of that prison?
Definitely. That's just how they go.
Yeah.
The dude that did it, when he gets to the SHU program, they're going to take his life because he didn't complete the task.
Yeah.
That's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
So, like, with all that is going on inside of that prison, obviously for Tory Lanez, do you feel like he'll be received well when he comes home? Like, do you think
what? He ain't never have to rap again if you don't want to. He got a movie, he got a series, his music, he got a movement. Tory Lanez been already setting up companies while he's been there. You know, Meg gonna have to pay him. Everybody gonna have to pay him.
Facts. You think Meg would ever get to a place where she could apologize to him for all this shit that happened? Or do you think that the labels are intervening?
Well, Rock Nation takes a hit. They only guilty of supporting their client. Yeah, that's a fact that I think Meg will get to a point where she'll issue an apology. I'm gonna be real. I don't think Meg even knows what happened that night.
Facts.
I think she was at a level of intoxication that she blacked out.
Yeah.
She thinks this is what happened.
Yeah, I don't think she really knows. You know what I'm saying? So we seen her lie. She lied on Gail's show. You know what I'm saying? Admitted to that. And I believe she's going to break down, cry, and issue an apology. But that ain't going to stop Tory from owning her catalog and everything else she's got.
It's going to be 5-7 years from now. When everything kind of cools down, she's going to do a sit down 60 minutes.
The hate Tory got for what they thought he allegedly did, she won't get half that hate for railroading that band for saying he did something he didn't do. That's the world we live in.
Right. Ooh, that made my blood boil just
I'm ready for him to come home, man. I feel like all this inevitably protecting black women too almost cost him his life.
Yeah. And shout out to my boy Speedy, because my boy Speedy from Hard Time Hustle, that's his brother, and he really took this hard. You know what I'm saying? And he's still taking it hard, because that's his brother. Like, he loved him to death. So shout out to my man Speedy. Yeah, you know, every step of the way, Speedy been there. That's why all that talking about the people turned on him, it wasn't gonna happen. You had too many people in place that was there with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's some real people behind those walls that was making sure things was good. But, you know, when something high above you send a torpedo, you know, and employed the mailman, you know what I'm saying?
I get out the way.
You get what I'm saying?
I don't want to get into that, but a lot of people are saying it's Rock Nation.
No, ain't got nothing to do with Rock Nation. Rock Nation don't give a about no case study. You know, Rock Nation, all they're gonna do is go into damage control for their client. You know, for Rock, if you find Rock Nation guilty, then I'm guilty for showing up to Blueface trials. That's what they're supposed to do. That's their client.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so they didn't do nothing that what they supposed to do, not show up to support.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is the LA County case. You know, if they're saying Rock Nation got influence over the DA's office, then that's kind of a reach.
Now, first up, I appreciate you for coming through straight from Colombia.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I really wanted this interview to happen because, again, there's like so much misinformation that be going on the internet, and then people kind of like size us up for being the wrong people. And really, I really am just a good dude that be having, you know, I decided to open up a platform because I wanted to sit down and talk to people.
I think you giving another perspective. You feel like it's 100 podcasts out there that's gonna ask the radical crazy shit. Yeah, so I think your approach is trying to get into the deeper emotional side of a situation when it comes to a person.
Yeah.
That's probably your approach. So I get it. It's like, that's your way of being different.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people it's a lot of traffic out there. So you like, it's my lane. you know, I could cross over there, but everybody's over there.
Yeah. Now, with somebody like yourself, you're such a polarizing figure. I'm sure that part of you, one of the things that I keep saying and I've always said is I would hate to actually be a celebrity. Like, I like the J-list celebrity I am at right now.
I don't consider myself, people
but
tell
they know
me that,
you all
but
over.
I don't move like that. I don't consider myself that. Like, people know me, they be like, yeah, bro, he don't be on that. Like today, my wife said she wanted some canes or whatever that shit, fries, right? So I go over there, I walk in, the whole kitchen looking at me. Oh, yeah, how y'all doing? Yeah. They said, are you Wack 100? I'm like, yeah. Could we get a picture? I'm like, yeah, cool. They like, yo, man, you cool as where all your people at? I said, I don't know what you mean. You know what I'm saying? I don't forget Wack. None of my people. You got some real people over there behind me. That's some real individuals that come on some real shit. You know what I'm saying? That got real plugs and real reach, but we all move normal. Like, we don't let that get to our head because the people are saying you this or that. That ain't gonna blind us because we don't forget where we come from. There you go. And we know we can slip and be right back there.
Right. I mean, shit, you've been doing this for a long time.
You know what I'm saying?
Learn how to navigate.
Y'all remember when 600 was signed to Don King? Yeah. And he was going back and forth with Don King getting out his shit. And for a year, right? He made one call. I got the call. That man right there at the time was negotiating a $300 million deal for Don King's catalog, fight catalog. Called him. He set out with Don King, and in 2 weeks we had it released. Wow. So you can have some real big fish in the room. You never know it with me because we cool. Like, we ain't never stepping in nothing, want you to feel littering us. Because guess what? It's some things you know, some things you do that we don't know that we don't do. Right. So we want to figure those things out to see how we can plug those in to empower us even more. And then guess what? Now you gain access to the things that we've been doing.
Yeah.
It's just how it works.
Another person I was a huge fan of is Drakeo the Ruler.
Yeah, that's nephew. Good dude.
Do you feel like if you were there that night, when his life was taken, he would still be here?
He'd have been alive. We waited for him. We waited for him. Like, I don't know what he was doing. We waited for him. We was 100 deep in there, literally, and we waited for him. And we like, bro, like, I got the game here, bro. Game waited. We all waited. I said, yo, bro, Dre coming in. Let's make sure he get in and get out. And we like, where he at? You think it was moving like he was fucking Jay-Z somebody. Yeah. If Game looking at me crazy, he said, Wack, we been waiting on this hour and a half. Like, what we doing? So I figured like maybe just got a gut feeling wasn't gonna show up. So we rolled. By the time we got to the freeway, it happened that quick.
Damn.
That quick. Well, rest in peace, Drakeo. Good dude.
Drakeo. Some of them great artists that be taken from us way too soon. Now, there's rumors of all people being involved in that. Do you feel like that was just like a personal issue?
No, I mean, he let it be known. You know, he was beefing with the streets. You know what I'm saying? Brother Pet Bull, Foynoi, Baby Crazy O from Harlem. And believe it or not, at one point in time, had it set up for everybody to sit down and squash the beef. Drakeo didn't want to squash it. Or it went to where it went to, you know what I mean? So, you know, he died standing on his feet the way he wanted to die standing on his feet. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do no running, he didn't do no retreating. You know what I'm saying? And those that ran and those that retreated, they got to deal with that. But he didn't run, he didn't retreat. You know, was it the smartest thing, the smartest decision? You know, all money ain't good money. Yeah. And if it was one of those type of situations, maybe he should have retracted from it. You know, I'll lose 10 battles to win the war. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
How often do you deal with that, dealing with all these artists? Because we know that they're the most hard-headed son of bitches out there.
You deal with it all the time. You deal with it all the time. You got to emphasize for them, and you got to make preparations for them. And it's to a point now that I feel like if we got to overdo something to be somewhere, then maybe we should be there. Yeah. I'm not going nowhere to entertain the people because the people going to be the one entertaining the district attorney with the video footage. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a about what you think. Oh, y'all didn't show up. That's cool. We still here. Right. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. So if we look at the situation and the situation ain't favorable to us, or we going to make 200,000, but we might be facing 200 years, then, you know, maybe we shouldn't go.
Were you involved in the brawl that night with Drakeo? There was rumored that.
No, we left. You talking about that night? Yeah, we definitely had a squabble. We had a little internal squabble backstage. It was only about like a couple minutes, 2-3 minutes.
Yeah. Right. Now, before we let you go, this is the real shit, right?
Hey.
As a father, daddy, as you call it, knowing that you're such a polarizing figure, does that make it a little bit difficult to raise them and show them the right way?
I don't lie to my kids. I let my kids everything I did that they shouldn't do. You know what I mean? They know who their dad is. You know what I'm saying? They know exactly who I am, and they know who not to be.
Does it take like? Because this is my fear, right? I'm like, damn. The more and more I grow, the more and more I'd have to protect my children from the people outside, because there's everybody wants to take either a picture with them, and hopefully, I really don't get. Hopefully, I never get to that stage. You know what I'm saying? I'm nowhere near it now. But I would hate for them to always have to ask questions for daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like these paparazzi that
you keep your kids away from that. And usually they know to stay away from that. You know, they're your children. They're going to move in the spaces that you teach them to move in. You know what I mean? So they should never be anywhere where they open to that type of approach anyway. You know what I'm saying? In the world we live in, everything got to be like, you got to look ahead of it. You know that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when it comes to their school, the school should be protecting them from that. When it comes to the family members' homes they go to, you kind of know what they're dealing with. But, you know, it's going to come a time where they're going to venture out in the world. And at that point in time, you know, they know how to handle and carry themselves.
Are you... I guess I asked the question, right? The big question. Wack 100. Life is grand. Out of a 1 through 100... where do you see yourself at in that scale of life right now?
With my ambitions and goals and things being my business partners got going on, probably about 50. I'm hard on myself. You know, we got a lot of big things going on. We opening up actually a club right here in Hollywood, Florida, that I was talking to Charleston, because we got a comic stage, got a hookah bar. We got everything going on. My man Steve Marcano's the owner. So I was talking to the brother. I'm like, you know what? It might be a good thing to let y'all do y'all first, like, to the public podcast on stage. You know, we do a lot of that on the, you know, because this is y'all area. You know what I'm saying? We set it up and do it right. You know what I'm saying? And make it come to life. You know what I mean? So we got that going on. We got Incredible Diapers going on. We got distribution happening overseas. In Africa, we setting that up. We got 600. He's making moves back in boxing. You know, we got a lot of things going on. So I'm probably like batting 50%. You know, the race ain't over until you take that last breath. Then they calculate everything that you've done and didn't do, and then at that point, you know, then you judge. Yeah. What does the 100 look like for you then? The 100 looks like generational wealth is already established, and it's pushing itself regardless. You know what I mean? We on some like the Kennedys. The Kennedys born rich because of how they set up. Every bottle of gin that's sold, they get a cut of in the world.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So when I'm set up like that, or when I'm close to that, or I can hand the baton off to where the people behind me could get to that, then at that point, you know, but I'm still reaching, I'm still learning, you know, I'm still gaining, I'm still trying.
Yeah.